Welcome to Part 2. The stories you're about to hear are so insane, even Chuck Norris would look at them and say, "All right, now that's just excessive. Buckle up, reality is about to crack again." Legend number 16, Mad Jack Churchill, the warrior from another title. While soldiers in World War II were fighting with automatic rifles, tanks, and grenades, British officer Jack Churchill decided that was all for noobs. His combat arsenal consisted of a Scottish cloak, a long bow, a broadsword, and bagpipes. And no, this is not a cosplay joke. He is officially confirmed as the last man in history to kill an enemy in war using a longbow. In one instance, he captured 42 German soldiers and a mortar crew simply brandishing his sword. Before the attack, he played the bagpipes, putting the Germans into a state of absolute confusion. They genuinely couldn't figure out if they were facing a war or a historical festival. His motto? Any officer who goes into battle without a sword is improperly dressed. The fact that this level 99 berserker survived the entire war proves that sometimes absolute, unmitigated madness is the toughest plot armor you can get.
Number 17. Anders Hellstrup, the Cosmic Sniper Dodge. When you go skydiving, you worry about your parachute failing, but you definitely don't expect the universe to try and snipe you. Norwegian parachutist Anders Hellstrup was free-falling peacefully when something dark flashed past him at immense speed. He didn't feel a thing, but his helmet cam captured the cheat code. It was a meteorite, a real rock from space that had already passed its glowing phase. This is the first recorded instance of a falling meteorite being filmed from arm's length. The odds of this event are so infinitesimally small that mathematicians start crying from frustration just trying to calculate them. Anders performed a literal matrix dodge against a bullet fired from the asteroid belt millions of years ago. The universe only missed by a couple of centimeters. Historical fact number 18. Andrew Jackson, the President Gunpowder Feared. The 7th U.S. President, Andrew Jackson, was so tough they nicknamed him Old Hickory, a very hard type of wood. In 1835, his reputation was tested. A painter named Richard Lawrence walked up to the president and fired a pistol point blank. Click! Misfire. Lawrence pulled out a second pistol. Jackson, who was 67 at the time, instead of running, activated rage mode and charged the assassin with his cane. Lawrence pulled the trigger on the second pistol. Click! Another misfire. It was later calculated that the odds of 2 properly loaded pistols misfiring in succession were 1 in 125,000. Clearly, even the weapons decided that messing with a grandpa ready to beat you senseless with a stick wasn't worth the trouble. This president had impenetrable plot armor. Let's take a breath. We haven't even gotten to the super cool dude who was targeted for assassination 600 times, or the other guy who survived 15 hours inside a whale's stomach. We're continuing this marathon of madness. The next stories are a genuine scripting anarchy that proves our reality clearly has no censorship. Legend number 19. King Zog, the final boss you can't kill. If survival were an Olympic sport, Zog I, King of Albania, would be the ultimate cheater. This man built a career on dodging death, surviving over 55 assassination attempts during his reign. 55, that's not a typo. The most epic incident occurred in Vienna in 1931. Assassins attacked him as he was getting into his car after the opera. Zog didn't hide under the seat. He pulled out his own pistol and returned fire, actually saving the lives of his bodyguards in the process. Fun fact, he smoked 200 cigarettes a day, but only humans ever tried to kill him. For King Zog, an assassination attempt wasn't a tragedy. It was just an annoying side quest in his schedule, somewhere between lunch and afternoon tea. Number 20. Fidel Castro, the survival record holder. King Zog with his 55 attempts is cute, sure, but Fidel Castro looked at that number and said, Hold my rum, bro. According to Cuban intelligence, Fidel was targeted for assassination over 600 times. Mostly, it was the guys from the CIA, trying their luck. And frankly, their methods looked more like a cartoon about Wile E. Coyote versus Roadrunner than serious espionage. Exploding cigars? A pen with a poisonous syringe? Or a scuba suit contaminated with skin-eating fungus? Are you serious? They even planned to plant an exploding seashell where the Comandante liked to dive. The cherry on top? They sent his former mistress with poison pills, but she hid the tablets in a jar of face cream where they simply dissolved. It seems Castro's best defense wasn't his bodyguards, but the spectacular, almost comedic incompetence of his enemies. A level of scripting genius that would make the scripting god jealous. Fateful Incident number 21. Jean-Bédel Bokassa, the dictator and the tray. Bokassa was the self-proclaimed Emperor of Central Africa and, to put it mildly, not the nicest guy. But clearly, luck favors even a SOB like this. During a public appearance, an assassin got close and hurled a grenade straight at the Emperor. The lethal projectile was flying true, ready to turn the tyrant into unpleasant ground meat. But then ultimate plot armor intervened in the form of a simple waiter. The guy walking by instinctively used his metal serving tray as a shield. The grenade hit the tray, bounced away, and exploded harmlessly. The Emperor's reign was saved, not by elite special forces, but by a piece of dishware. I hope that waiter got a lifetime supply of double tips for saving an entire empire. Psychological trick number 22. King Hassan II, the Cosmic Bluff. In 72, the King of Morocco was flying home on his Boeing when his own Air Force decided to stage the most dramatic coup. Rebel fighters riddled the plane with bullets, took out an engine, and prepared to finish off the monarch. The plane was going down. What to do? Pray? Nope. Hassan II grabbed the radio and, using the icy voice of a mechanic, yelled into the airwaves, "The tyrant is dead. Long live the homeland." The fighter pilots bought this cosmic bluff. They immediately ceased fire, even saluted the supposedly dead king by rocking their wings, and escorted the damaged plane to the airfield. He didn't just survive, he forced his assassins to serve as his honorary escort. Now that's what I call 4D chess and a god-level diplomatic move.
Nature's Miracle number 23. Adolfo Suárez, the Feathered Bodyguard. Being the Prime Minister of Spain is risky, but for Adolfo Suárez, the threat didn't come from terrorists, but from his best friend's hunting clumsiness. His buddy, tracking game, spun around with a shotgun and accidentally pointed the barrel straight at Suárez's head. Boom! Point-blank shot, and that split second between the barrel and the PM's head flew a pigeon. An ordinary, unsuspecting pigeon took the entire blast of buckshot, dissolving into a cloud of feathers. The bird died instantly, but Suárez was untouched. This was the most heroic pigeon in history, who fulfilled its duty until the end. A genuine Secret Service agent undercover with unbelievable RNG luck. Lazy Hero number 24. Saint Wenceslao, the Power of Sloth. In the 10th century, the Duke of Bohemia, Wenceslao, was such a good guy that his brother, Boleslas the Cruel, a highly descriptive nickname, yes, decided to eliminate him. Assassins staked out the church, knowing Wenceslao attended morning service at the same time every day. The plan was perfectly synchronized, but that morning, the Duke did something uncharacteristic of saints. He simply overslept. The killers waited, got cold, got bored, and finally decided, screw it, must be an RNG glitch, he's not coming today, and went home. The Duke's life was saved not by prayer or a miracle, but by the desire to snooze for an extra half hour. Remember this, sometimes the snooze button is the most powerful security system in the world. Miracle of Etiquette number 25. John Starks, the Life-Saving Handshake.
Standing before a firing squad is probably the worst time management imaginable. British soldier John Starks was condemned to death for desertion. The soldiers raised their rifles. In this clutch moment, John's friends stepped out of formation to shake his hand one last time. It was a very long, very sad, and very, very British handshake. While they were still shaking hands, a rider appeared on the horizon, waving a piece of paper. It was a pardon. Had their farewell lasted 5 seconds less, John would have been riddled with lead. He was saved by simple but incredibly slow politeness. The moral? Never neglect a long goodbye, gentlemen. It might be your final security system. This, damn it, is not some ordinary coincidence. It's a real showdown with the forces of nature. He managed to anger them so much that they kept chasing him even beyond the grave. Celestial Vendetta number 26, Walter Summerford, Lightning's personal rival. Walter's story is hard to explain except for the fact that Lightning knows how to hold a grudge and keep a personal scoreboard. In 1918, the Major was struck by lightning while at war, paralyzing his legs. He recovered. In 24, he was fishing under a tree. Second strike paralyzed his right side. He recovered again. In 30, he was strolling in a park. Third strike, complete paralysis. He died 2 years later. You think that's the end? Not even close. 4 years after his burial, lightning struck the cemetery and shattered his gravestone to pieces. The universe didn't just want him dead, it wanted to pull an ultimate rage quit and erase even the memory of him from the face of the earth. This isn't bad luck, this is officially documented celestial vendetta.
Incredible Escape number 27, James Bartley, Pinocchio for Adults. This story is one of the juiciest sea shanties ever told, and it's too good to worry too much about the truth. In 1891, whaler James Bartley disappeared at sea after a sperm whale smashed their boat to pieces. The next day, the same whale was caught, and they began to butcher it. Suddenly, the sailors noticed movement inside the monster's stomach. Cutting it open, they found James. He was unconscious, but alive. The dude spent 15 hours inside the whale's stomach. The gastric acid bleached his skin a deathly white, and he was temporarily blinded, but he survived. Historians can argue till they're blue in the face, but you have to agree, this is the absolute best excuse for missing work in history. Sorry, boss, a whale ate me.
There's only a little bit left. The final push. We've got the owners of the Titanic, people falling onto volcanoes, and that one monk who decided to become an airplane. If you've read this far and still believe in logic and common sense, we're about to fix that. The remaining stories will give even probability theory a nervous twitch. Instinct 28. J.P. Morgan, the billion-dollar gut feeling. J.P. Morgan wasn't just a money bag. He owned the company that built the Titanic. Naturally, as the owner, he was scheduled to sail in the most luxurious suite on the maiden voyage. Suitcases were packed, champagne was chilling, but at the very last minute, Morgan canceled the trip. The official version was sudden illness. The unofficial one? He was too busy with business, or more likely a mistress. Regardless, his decision to skip the event saved him from an icy bath in the Atlantic. This is the textbook example of a boss wisely deciding to miss the first day in a new but severely flawed office. Billionaire luck is ultimate plot armor.
Matrix Glitch number 29, Hugh Williams, the name plot armor. The story of Hugh Williams isn't about a person, it's about a system failure in the code of reality. In 1664, a ship sank off the coast of Wales. Only one man survived. His name was Hugh Williams. In 1785, over a century later, another ship sank in the exact same spot. Again, only one survivor. And guess the name? Hugh, Mother of God, Williams. Think that's the limit? 1820, a third vessel capsized in those same cursed waters.
Everyone died except one guy. His name? Hugh, Mother of God, Williams. The odds of this triple coincidence are statistically negative. It seems the sea gods of that strait have a strict rule. We take the ships, but we spit the Hugh Williamses back out. If your name is Hugh Williams, join the Navy immediately. You have name plot armor. Genius plan number 30. Emperor Claudius, the Fool's Calling. In ancient Rome, being smart was dangerous, and being related to the emperor was lethal. Unless, of course, you were Claudius, lame, stuttering, and constantly drooling. His family considered him an embarrassment and the village idiot. While his relatives were being poisoned and butchered in the fight for the throne, Claudius was simply ignored. Why kill the clown? But in 41 AD, Emperor Caligula was assassinated. The Praetorian Guard, running through the palace searching for a new ruler, found Claudius, who was hiding in terror behind a curtain. Instead of executing him, they proclaimed him emperor. His entire life had been the perfect disguise. He was so severely underestimated that he accidentally became the most powerful man in the world. Now that's what I call 4D chess and the ultimate slow and steady wins the race strategy. Biological Terminator number 31. Wenceslao Hell, the Human Colander. Getting hit by one bullet and surviving is luck, but Wenceslao's story is absolutely beyond logic. During the Mexican Revolution, he was condemned to death by firing squad. They lined him up against a wall and pumped him with 9 bullets. To make sure the job was done, an officer walked up and delivered a close-range headshot. Yet Wenceslao survived, taking 9 bullets and 1 shot to the head. A miracle? No, this is a glitch in the code of reality. The bullets missed all vital organs, and the headshot went clean through his cheek, missing the brain. Wenceslao played dead, waited for the soldiers to leave, and crawled away. He lived a long life, even appearing in the show Ripley's Believe It or Not, earning the nickname El Fusilado, the executed one. The Terminator, compared to him, is a crystal vase. Original Batman number 32, Eilmer of Malmesbury, the test pilot monk. 1,000 years before the Wright brothers, in the 11th century, the English monk Eilmer decided that prayer was good, but he wanted to fly right now. He crafted himself a pair of wings, strapped them to his arms and legs, climbed onto the abbey roof, and with the shout of "Amen!" he jumped. And guess what? He flew. The monk glided over 200 meters, the length of 2 football fields. The landing, however, had some issues. He slammed into the ground, breaking both his legs and remaining lame for life. He later complained that his only mistake was forgetting to attach a tail for stability. This dude didn't just survive an insane experiment, he became the first OG test pilot in history. And he did it all in bare feet and sandals. Final cheat code number 33. The Bank Robbery Latecomer. The Power of Keys. Our final character is Steve. He was an ordinary man with an ordinary problem. He was always late. One morning, he desperately needed to get to the bank exactly at 9 a.m. to make it for an important call afterward. He rushed out of the house, barely on time, but halfway down the street realized he had forgotten his car keys. Swearing, he went back home, found them, lost about 15 minutes, and only then drove off. When he arrived at the bank, he saw the parking lot was taped off, surrounded by dozens of police cars. It turned out that exactly at 9:03 a.m., 3 minutes after opening, armed robbers had stormed the bank and taken everyone inside hostage. Steve should have been the first hostage, but he was saved by sheer, simple forgetfulness. The odds of forgetting your keys and having that trivial act save your life at such a precise moment are equal to a statistical error.
His entire life was the perfect rehearsal for this day, where the clutter in his mind turned out to be the best security in the world. Congrats, Steve. Your laziness just won the survival jackpot.
And that's it. If you still believe in logic after all this, congratulations. Your optimism should be studied by scientists. Part 3 is already on the way, so don't pretend you're just watching one video and leaving. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. Go on, pretend you have survival instincts.